Cobra Kai is back, and with its return, I had to come out of the tombstone to deliver you guys a review on Peak Fiction. Cobra Kai Season 6 not only is the best start to any season in my opinion, but it's shaping up to be the best season yet. With that aside, let's just break down what happened in the season so far. Now, after Silver's defeat, we see Miyagi Fang finally being official, leading into Johnny already conflicting with Chozen and Danny. While we mainly get this as comedic relief, we see Robby trying to pick up the pieces that were left after Kenny was defeated, leading into Shawn's return. I really like seeing him trying to just look out for his brother and not let him fall down the same path he did. It makes Shawn seem a lot less one-dimensional and lets the actor shine a bit more. This issue gets resolved a lot sooner thanks to Shawn and Robby trying to reach to him, and this leads into Kenny turning to the light by like episode 1. Meanwhile, Tory's having a harder time doing this with Sam Meanwhile, Tory and Sam are having a hard time kind of adjusting to this new lifestyle because they were never really friends ever. But this season goes out of its way to actually have them speak about the issue that started this whole rivalry, and they squash their beef for the most part. As you can see with this season, the drama isn't over the top and makes the show feel a little cartoonish like with season 2. And yes, we do get drama, but it's not like relationship BS, it's actually some pretty dark stuff. You see, as it seems like Tory's mom was getting better, she ended up forming a blood clot that led into her passing away. With this news, on top of already having the pressure of winning the Sekai Tekai, this would lead into Tory seeing red, and when they're trying to decide who would be the captains for the Sekai Tekai, Tory just kind of crashes out on Sam and Daniel refuses her to continue. She just kind of crashes out on Sam, so Daniel refuses her to continue, but Johnny believes she needs this to feel better, which could be true, but again, it's really up to whatever you believe is right. This ultimately leads into Tory leaving and going back into her roots, which is being a Cobra. And speaking of, we can now talk about that. I'd just like to take this moment to say Kreese's aura is something that genuinely needs to be studied. After escaping jail, he'd go back to where he first trained with his original sensei and his granddaughter, leading into him and Kim preparing new students to combat the kids. And with this, we see Kreese officially overcoming his biggest weakness, that being Johnny Lawrence. Oh, and the reason for this is because he went on a side quest for Kim Da-eun to return his knife. Kreese finally has realized his own flaws, and rather than butting heads with another sensei about it, he this time takes matters into his own hands and overcomes it, leading into him ultimately becoming a deadlier sensei than Kim's granddaughter, who in all honesty is just kind of a punching bag this entire season, bro. I'm not gonna lie, but hey, she doesn't get it as bad as Hawk. I'm gonna be making a dedicated Hawk video later on, so I'll keep this very brief, but dear God, why can't Eli ever get a W, bro? Every single time it feels like he's finally going to be cool again, they do him dirty. Like, come on. Not only is his arc a side plot with Dimitri about not wanting to go to the same school as him, which, I mean, in comparison to what everyone else is going through, it is kind of weak for Hawk, I'm not gonna lie. And what makes this worse is the fact that Dimitri ends up beating Hawk, and the only reason Hawk gets to enter the Tekai Sekai, or Sekai Tech, whatever the fuck the tournament is called, is because Tory leaves. He's not even on the original roster. I'm so sorry, but oh my God, how could they massacre my boy? I haven't spoken too much on Robby and Miguel because I too want to make a dedicated video for them, but these two are mainly competing against each other while trying to stay friends, which is kind of the conflict with them this season, which is trying to maintain their balance and not let their past get mixed up with their lives. Miguel specifically is pushing to win because it could allow him to get recognized for a college he wants to go to, while Robby is pushing to win because this is really all he has. It's enough to have these two pushing to be stronger and not enough to cause stupid drama, which makes me happy to see. I generally just love how this season doesn't like to push drama overall to the forefront as much, and although it's still a core element of the show, they managed to make it feel less cartoonish and a lot more realistic. A perfect example of this is the Miyagi Side Plot, where it's revealed that Miyagi might have not been the perfect hero Daniel or even we ourselves remember, as not only did it seem like Miyagi was kind of a rebel, but he lied about his name and age to Daniel, along with the fact that he pretty much committed a crime. And we see Daniel struggling to accept this and even instinctively hit Johnny when he mentions this, as, you know, his hero isn't who he thought he was. This is probably the best scene in the entire season for me, as it shows just exactly where these two are at. Johnny is the one trying to get his stuff together and putting his rivalry to the side for the kids, while Daniel is falling into the past and going through a bit of a spiral. Sound familiar? Well, if it doesn't, then try to recollect who was in this position at the start of the show. That's right, the show started with Johnny being the one at the bottom and Daniel as the car salesman who pretty much had everything figured out. To see these two now in each other's previous shoes is really entertaining to see, and it's going to be even more satisfying seeing them lock back in against Kreese. Other characters I didn't get to fully mention because I want to wait till the end are Chozen and Mike Barnes. I do like the old Mike Barnes kind of returning after Terry Silver basically destroyed his life, while Chozen himself is going through a midlife crisis and doesn't really know what to do with himself after he poured his heart out to Kumiko and she said absolutely nothing to him. This season just has everyone doing something. I love it, man. Even Kyler's cool, bro. Like, come on, man. They made Kyler cool. Anywho, guys, this is my part 1 review of Cobra Kai season 6. I'm gonna be making a little bit more dedicated videos, you know, for specific characters like Miguel and Robby and Hawk, etc. And I will be making a tier list for part 1. I will be making a tier list actually for pretty much every single part. So with that being said, stay tuned for that, and goodbye.